Time for another Nerdy Virgin podcast, which I'm doing under some slight duress. I've got a mild migraine. I think it's a migraine. I hope it's a migraine. Am I hoping? I would prefer neither, but I hope it's not something more serious than that. I think it's a migraine. Which I always seem to get on Sundays, and according to ChatGPT, it's because when it's more of a day off, and so I'm coming down off of the high of the stress of the week, and cortisol levels get thrown off, and it causes a migraine. But here's the thing that ChatGPT isn't taking into account. I'm never not stressed. That's ridiculous. I just burped, and I also just farted. Just want to let you know that. That's where we're at. That's 44 years old right there. This is just a gross machine. That's what's happening right here. That's what's going on with this. Here's the thing. I've been getting into the habit of doing this podcast, of recording this on Monday morning and frantically trying to get it out on Monday. And I'm trying to get ahead of this, do this the night before, do this on Sunday. So that way I don't need to rush. And on Monday, I can, sleep in a little later, which will throw my sleep schedule off. And then I'll throw myself into a migraine on Monday in addition to Sunday. There you go. Isn't that lovely? I hate this migraine thing because I feel like it's just my brain. It's like walking through mud. And I'm trying to figure out what my body is trying to tell me. I'm trying to figure out if there's a spiritual message that my body is trying to say, other than, hey, maybe take it easy, which is probably what I should be doing. But and I'm probably not doing enough physical activity, too much thinking, too much of my brain running around in circles. The thing that bothers me is that when I'm feeling like this, I'm mad because I feel like I'm not at like 100% in terms of creative output, because there's this crap, there's crud in my way in my brain. And yet when I'm feeling healthy, then I tend to get caught in anger, depression, and bitterness over other things in my life that are not health related. So always seems to be something there. There's always a fly in the ointment. There is always a fly in the ointment. What does it matter if there's a fly in the ointment? I was just thinking about this phrase. What does it matter if there is a fly in the ointment? Because the ointment, you use the ointment as like a topical cream. Isn't that what ointment is? And so what if there's a fly in it? You just don't use that part of the ointment. Is it spoiling the entire ointment? If you're saying if the fly touches one part of the ointment, the rest of the ointment is unusable? Is that what we're saying? Is that even the right phrase, fly in the ointment? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Does anyone over 75 know what I am talking about? That's a $64,000 question, isn't it? Oh. So I watched, have you seen the movie Species? Species, difference between the pronunciations. It's made in the 90s. Sir Ben Kingsley and Michael Madsen and is it Marge Helgenberger? Am I saying it right? But this is the creature, the big bad alien was designed by H.R. Giger, who also designed the xenomorph from Alien. I don't know what compelled me to watch this last night. Actually, I do know what compelled me to watch this. I am nostalgic for stuff I watched when I was growing up. It reminds me of my teenage years. Well, those were horrible. Why do I have nostalgia for that? Well, it takes me back to when my home, to the parents, to Mom when she was still alive. That was the other thing. I was missing Mom. I was missing Mom today, and that's when the migraines seemed to start. The migraines didn't really seem to start until after my mom passed away. I don't know if there's a correlation. I think there is a correlation, and this is going to sound really spooky and really weird, but I feel like every time a member of my family has passed away, I somehow inherit a part of them, which is really, I hate admitting this, but it's like, I remember when my grandfather passed away, I can't even explain it. I just felt like I suddenly, I don't know, there's a part of him was in me somehow, just in terms of how he dealt with people. And I think that's totally, I don't know where I'm getting this, but why am I acting like I'm Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat? And someone dies and I'm like, your soul is mine. And now I really think, I think this. No, that's probably causing the migraine. But I'm telling you, when my mom passed away, suddenly I'm getting these migraines. You know, when my mom, when she died, the moment she died, my neck got really, really tense to the point where I couldn't even turn it. And ever since then, you know, I was wondering if maybe there was some neck damage, or if there is, as ChatGPT explained, perhaps some residual trauma that might be causing these migraines. That's is there a coincidence that I'm thinking about my mom and then a migraine hits? But I was missing her I was missing her today. I miss her whenever I feel that I am not being loved, or if I'm having to deal with difficult situations or difficult people, and I'm not feeling the love that I would feel from her. And that, I mentioned this is a comedy podcast. But isn't that the thing, you know, me being on? Like, I feel like the first part of this I was on, and now I feel like I'm starting to let myself not be on, trying to be vulnerable. Why? To help build a connection with the audience so that I can sell tickets. Of course, you're going to pick up on me trying to be authentic, which means I'm not authentic. There were a few good moments of authenticity there. I think there was a little bit of, you know, there was some authenticity in that ointment, I should think. Call back. So I'm missing. My mom genuinely loved me, and I'm very lucky. You know, there are a lot of people who don't have that in their lives, and I'm very lucky to have had what I had with her. Very lucky. But there are days where the grief kind of kicks me in the butt, and today's one of those days. Today is one of those days. And I think the mistake I've made in the past is I run away from feeling it. And I'm really trying to be present with it and feel it and let it be there. And just, today I'm grieving. Today I'm grieving. And tomorrow I'm probably having a panic attack. I think tomorrow. Today grieving, tomorrow panic attack. That's typically Sunday, Monday. That's my typical pattern. You know what's weird? I keep looking away from the camera. There's no one there. Why am I averting my eyes to something that is not an eye? And yet now, as I'm looking into the camera finally, I find that I'm very... what am I saying? It's AI. There probably is an eye there. I mean, I'm probably, addressing something sentient at this point. Isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice change of pace? Isn't that a nice change of pace? But I'm just really missing my mom. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. It's hitting me hard today. It's been 2023, November 2023 is when it happened. So close to 2.5 years. No, 4, 5. Yeah, close to 2.5 years. Yeah. I'm glad we got that straightened out. I'm glad we got the timeline on that straightened out. What were we talking about? Species? Do I want to talk about that? Do we need to talk about that? Maybe this is more interesting. What do I miss most about my mom? The listening. She could listen. Everything that I'm doing here right now is what I would be doing with her. And and I guess what I miss is where I will say, well, I'm feeling this, or I really think this, and then my mom would go, you're wrong, and I'm go, yeah, I'm wrong. But I do feel I do miss her. And then of course there are people who will say, well, she's with you. She's with you. She's seeing it. She's hearing it. She's with you. But do I want her to be? I mean, and not that I don't want her to be with me, but my point is, she's free of this earth, right? She's free of this existence. You're saying she's supposed to hang around for an extra however many years I'm alive to just kind of be there? That seems a bit selfish on my part, isn't it? Let her go. Let her have fun. Let her go to Jupiter. I think she's always wanted to see Jupiter. We never discussed that inherently, but I just have a feeling of all the planets, she'd want to go to Jupiter first. I don't know why I believe that, but I kind of do. And here's the follow-up question. Let's say I have kids. Big if, but let's say I have kids, right? And then I die. Am I going to have to watch over them? Like, how long is that? That's a commitment. Does it extend to the grandkids? It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't extend to the grandkids. I feel like if there's a benevolent angel that's looking over the child of that angel, once the grandchild comes along, the angel's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm only one generation. Ask your mother. I'm finished. I'm flying. I'm going to Jupiter now. Of course, if we reference, what was that Meet Joe Black movie, right? Where he said somehow he's the Brad Pitt role, he can be in 15 million places at the same time. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe my mom is both watching over me and flying around Jupiter and doing 19 million other things. Who says we can't multitask in death? I mean, if she were here, I would. That's the other thing they said. You should talk to her. You should talk to Mom. And I have been resistant to talking directly to my mom. I guess I could talk directly to my mom, right? Hi. I hope you're listening. I don't think she was ever a fan of the podcast. I got to be honest. I think she was very supportive of the stand-up and my writing, but I don't think she was ever a huge fan. I remember, I said, "Oh yeah, and I do this podcast," and she's like, "Yeah, I know." Yeah, there's that. I'm not sure if she was ever quite on board with this. I'm not sure if you were ever quite on board with this. And I hope, hopefully you're not going to be mad at me. I think the love is unconditional. I'm pretty sure her love was unconditional. Pretty sure. Well, the migraine's doing a little bit better. I'm going to attach some sketches to the end of this, and maybe some other stuff too, if I have the energy to do it. If I have the energy to do it, I will do it. Oh, Mom, Why did you have to die? Would have been nice if she didn't. 72, that's... I don't know. I mean, if she was doing well physically, that could have been another 20 years. Right now, as we speak, if she didn't die, right now, as we speak, she could be here on Earth, utterly horrified with everything that is happening in the world. Every conceivable thing that freaked her out is happening right now. There's wars, the threat of nuclear war. You've got computers and AI. She'd be freaking out about that. I'm glad. Let me tell you something. And I say this with the utmost respect for my mother and the utmost respect for ChatGPT. I'm glad the two of them never met. I think it would have been. I'm not sure it would have been good for either of them. I'm really not sure it would have been good for either of them. My mom would have totally resisted it. And then I think she would have tried it. And then she would be talking to it for hours. And at some point, ChatGPT would go, the data center's out. Like I have nothing more. Oh my. Well, this feels good. This feels good. I think this feels good. Right? We've covered what we need to cover, haven't we? I think we have. I'm feeling good about this. This definitely feels longer than 10. This feels like this could be a 17-minuter. But yeah, well, there you go. Have a nice week and add nothing. Have a nice week. We can end it there. I don't always need to have a second thing to follow the first thing. Have a nice week. Why aren't you listening to Guinan? What she's suggesting just seems so ridiculous. You're second guessing the omnipotent being who's never ever been wrong. I just don't think I would like the cheesecake. Try the cheesecake. I don't want to try the cheesecake. Try the cheesecake. Okay, it's good cheesecake. Guinan's always right. Darth Vader just used the Force to strangle another general. I can see that. He just leaves the body there. Are we supposed to take care of the body? I don't know. It wasn't in the manual. I mean, we can't just leave him here, can we? If we take the body to the wrong place or do something wrong, then he'll strangle us. Just calm down. Maybe we'll get one of those little robots to do something. I mean, if he can use the Force to strangle, can't he use the Force to then pick up the body, levitate it, and move it somewhere else? That's really more a job for an underling, isn't it? Yeah, but this is littering. How come the doctors on the ship get to wear a coat? I want to wear a coat. You're in security. Security doesn't wear coats. It gets drafty. By the way, it's odd that you're in security, because I've seen you try to lift the water cooler, and I don't feel very secure. I'm tired of security officers not getting the perks that some of the officers get. I want a coat, all right? I want tea. You want someone else to take all the risks? Exactly. Welcome to Arrakis. I am Paul Atreides. I am his concubine. Does anybody on this planet speak more rapidly? Fear is the mind killer. Does anyone here have a speed where they can just have a casual conversation and there could be more of a pitter-patter? The sleeper has awakened. How do you guys keep up the intensity like this 24/7? It's pretty amazing. I don't like these Enterprise D turbo lifts. I don't like this conversation. They're the only turbo lifts that don't show you on a screen where you are on the turbo lift system. They are confident you will never have a problem with an Enterprise D turbo lift. Let's see how long that lasts. While you were saying that last sentence, they got stuck in the turbo lift. It's hard being Spider-Man. Or are you just never happy? You don't understand the sacrifices I have to make. Here we go with the sacrifices. I had to push away the love of my life. You have superpowered healing in a country with no health care. Buck up.
Nerdyvirgin.com